So guys, the Tinubu's government might fall should Tinubu fail to take Trump's instruction. Trump is clear. He said, take away these bad guys or America will do the job for you. Now, take a look at this headline coming from Mike Almond. This is one of the persons spearheading the Trump to end the genocide of Christians in Nigeria. And this headline here says, our intervention might require dismantling Tinubu's government if it fails to act against Christian genocide. This is exactly what I'm saying. If Tinubu fails to act, America might want to end his government. Now, don't forget that the US is also taking steps to sanction individuals, organizations, and now even states. This headline says, US Senator calls on White House to impose sanctions on Nigerian officials, 12 states practicing Sharia blasphemy laws. Don't forget that Mieti Allah has also been caught up in this sanction of a thing. Now, recently, the US came out to say that they've already drawn their airstrike plans on Nigeria, how they are going to be, bombarding everywhere. Now, this headline again has emerged, and it says, the Pentagon's heavy plan proposes deploying an aircraft carrier and bomber for deep sea strikes in northern Nigeria against Islamic militants. You see the step the US, Trump is ready to go all out on this to make sure he ends this genocide that has been lingering for this long, and our politicians refuse to end it. You can imagine how lives are being lost like on a daily note, especially in the Middle Belt, all Christians. Now, this will also shock you to know that these bad guys are being advised to stay away from the public and to stop moving around. See, this headline says, Iswaps advises fighters to avoid public gatherings, movements amidst US surveillance, plan attacks in Nigeria. Iswaps is telling its fighters, please stay away from the public. Don't gather together because America is now very vigilant, viewing your movement, monitoring you. Make sure you stay away from the public, meaning that these guys must be coming home now to mingle with the community. And I think this is the best time to pick them up if our government really wants to work. They are being asked to stay away from the public and to stop moving around so that America will not pick them up. They know that America is very smart when it comes to surveillance. Now, this other headline is telling us that the newly appointed INEC chairman once called this a genocide against Christians. And this headline is exclusive. Tinubu's newly appointed INEC chairman, Professor Amupitan, wrote legal brief in 2020 report confirming genocidal killing in Nigeria. It will even shock you to know that even Buhari, who is a Fulani man, during his tenure admitted to Boko Haram killing Christians. Like you can see headline here says federal government makes U-turn, admits Boko Haram targeting Christians. So when these people are coming out to say Muslims are being killed, Christians are being killed, myself, I'm asking them, where are the evidence? Nigerians, we don't have evidence of these people coming to kill Muslims. It's only Christians. That's why they displace them, take over their lands, especially those of them in the Middle Belt. This is where this genocide is really happening. In the Middle Belt, we don't have cases of Muslims killing Muslims. They come to displace these people, take over their lands by, you must have seen the recent attack after Trump issued this warning. Children, you need to see how they were marched on them as if they are not, you can't even behold the images. Now, let me show you how Nigerians are reacting to this headline that the Tinubu's government might fall should Tinubu fail to obey Trump's instruction. This person here reacted and said, if the government is deeply involved in the insecurity, why not? Like Abacha rightly said, any insecurity that lasts for more than 24 hours, the government hand is in it. When Fulani terrorists entered Ghana, Ghana government gave them marching order. And this other person also reacted here and said, if dismantling this government will be the solution, so be it. When a government turns blind eyes to the slaughter of Christians, it forfeits its moral right to lead. No nation stand when injustice becomes policy. If Tinubu's government won't defend its citizens, then history will defend itself by removing failed leadership. And this other person reacted and said, dismantling terrible Tinubu APC government is a necessary end if insurgency must be eradicated. Because the true story of the beginning, I think there's a mistake there, I take it again. Dismantling Tinubu's APC government is a necessary end if insurgency must be eradicated, because the true story of the beginning, funding and beneficiary of insecurity in Nigeria is 90% APC. That's Nigerians reacting. Now, I'm going to be sharing this video with you guys where an American has come out to say he was in Nigeria to take note of what happened in Plateau State when these guys struck. You are going to be watching this video. Also, an expert has told the federal government what they should start doing now that America wants to start deploying their aircraft to come and start bombing everywhere. I want you to take your time and just watch this video for yourself, just for you to know that Trump is not joking. America is not joking, and the Tinubu's government should just sit up and start fixing things. Instead of them denying, they should admit and tell the whole world the steps that are being taken now to make sure if we can end this terrorism by now, I think it will be a very big achievement for the Tinubu's government. So guys, take your time, watch these videos and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now take a look.
When the U.S. says 12 northern governors, prominent traditional rulers, and senior judges are at the center of this, challenge in Nigeria, security challenge, and are complicit. Should we believe them? Do they have intelligence, or is it also exaggerated, as the Nigerian government is saying, that this claim that there is Christian genocide in Nigeria is false? Should we believe the U.S. government when they begin to list names?
Look, only a pathological liar and a blind defender of our government would say it is not tempting enough to believe there has been Christian genocide. Even the president, our current president, in the past, when they were forming APC, we all supported Buhari at that time. He himself was part of the delegation that sent this type of message to America. So that's why I said the chicken has come home to roost. So people have called it law of karma, that what you do unto others can be done unto you later. But at this time, I am not ready to even blame the president or anybody. The failure of government is too glaring for anybody to debate. So this failure, we must put behind us and rescue all of us. Then, I don't have any other country. I may have other addresses, but this is where I want to live at. Over 65 now. Today, I'm over 65. I don't want to become a Igbo. No, I want to live in Nigeria. I want my children to live peacefully in Nigeria. So, we must beg our leaders. Enough of this grandstanding. Look, we all know today the executive compromise, legislature compromise, judiciary compromise, INEC. We are hoping we'll wake up and resurrect, from this deathbed where they have placed it. So how can you have a democracy if all the democratic institutions are collapsed? That's what people call a failed state.
And I think it is now because of President Trump's statement. I think that's what was so important about him speaking out. I mean, he tweeted, or truthed, I guess, last Friday and caused a massive stir about this, and then went before the cameras and spoke directly to the Nigerian government, to the entire world about what's really been happening. You're absolutely right. Since 2009, over 100,000 Christians who've been killed. I've been to these villages. In Christmas of 2023, there was a village, 25 villages actually, that were attacked in a place called Plateau State. And the first place I visited, it's one of the things that I really remember so strongly from that trip. I met a pastor there. He was the new pastor of the church because Fulani militants had come to his church, burned down the old pastor's home, and beheaded him. And you go to the next village, 17 dead. You go to the next place, another church burned. It's an absolutely shocking thing. And I don't know why people haven't been looking at this. Maybe it's because the numbers are so big. I do get concerned that it's because these people are Christians and there's a Western bias sometimes against Christians. I'm glad that the president is standing up and saying that's not something we're going to turn a blind eye to anymore, and we're going to stand up for the Christians in Nigeria and around the world. Let's have a little look here, Sean. This is you in Nigeria. Let's just play some of this footage. And I visited 5 largely Christian villages, all attacked over Christmas of 2023 by armed militants. Roughly 200 people were killed in the attacks. The villagers' homes have been set on fire and their farms burned. I met the widows and the orphans and saw the mass graves where many were buried. I saw where one pastor was taken from his home and beheaded. Probably, if this started in 2009, Muslims or Islamists and Christians had lived peacefully side by side. So what happened? Well, Boko Haram happened in 2009, and Boko Haram literally means against Western education. They didn't like girls being educated. They didn't like what Christian values or Western values stood for, and they rejected that. Many of the Muslims in northern Nigeria, Nigeria generally, had been a little bit more liberal or moderate. They didn't like that at all, and so they launched a campaign of mass slaughter, and they didn't get it under control, and that continued on and on. About 6 years ago, you had IS influence, Islamic State, West Africa influence. There was battles there. You had that same ideology start moving over to a group called the Fulani, or certain militants within. It's a very large ethnic group, and the government just didn't seem to take this very seriously. They didn't win the battles very much, and what you're seeing now is actually the Fulani militant attacks. That's the majority of what's happening in those videos where we were. That's actually where most Christians are being killed right now, but there's no government response. There's no military. Sometimes they go and they try to make peace deals with the militants, and then the next day somebody gets killed or 17 people get killed. It's every week.
I mean, the question on ground is where we are at the moment. The AFRICOM has drawn up plans following President Donald Trump's orders. How would that look like on ground in Nigeria? And how should Nigeria prepare? What should we be doing in that instance? Because as we all know, President Trump has been very vocal about this. He is described as an unpredictable individual. I mean, he's tweeted this on Truth Social. AFRICOM has now drawn up plans. What should be the response, and what will it look like?
I think the response should be outlined in quick way.
Okay.
1, Nigerian government should see to its responsibility to reach out to the criminals wherever they are and deal with them accordingly, in order to inform the American government and all other nations that are looking at it as a genocide against Christians, that Nigerian government is ready to bring an end to it. 3, there should be a kind of collaboration and partnership on conducting need assessment of what Nigeria needs in terms of support, both technical, financial, and operational for the U.S. government. Yes, of course, the AFRICOM is quite welcome, but they should come in order to boost the morale of Nigerian military and paramilitary, Nigerian security architecture, so that they can work together as a machinery towards wiping out the bedeviling security challenges in the country. And number 4, Nigerian government under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu must check the corruption and the judiciary, because there are issues surrounding judiciary and the corruption that is making it very difficult for Nigeria to have attained, going by the amount of money you have had. That the Minister of Finance is talking about Nigeria relied so much on many things based on borrowal. Yes, of course, Nigeria have borrowed much more than enough money in order to deal with the security situation in the country. So let's be realistic, let's be honest, and Nigerian government must be transparent, and also those who were found wanting and have an involvement directly or indirectly should be immediately prosecuted and be dealt with. Nigerian government have said many times that they are going to release the list of finances of activities of these criminals. Where is that list? Why can't we have the list and identify those who are involved and deal with them decisively? We know the criminals. We know where they are. We know who they are. We know their parents. We know their poor parents. They are not foreigners. They are Nigerians. So why can't we tell the international community that we are serious?
But we've heard from governors, some governors in the past, who say these are foreigners who cross our porous borders. We've also heard from other governors who say we know them, they're Nigerians. So do we really even understand what we are dealing with and who we are dealing with? But when you highlight all of these 7 points, in the space of time that we have, one wonders if Nigeria can achieve this in what time frame as President Donald Trump takes his decision.
Let me tell you, if we are serious, honest, and sincere, we can handle this matter within 17 days. I have said it. Those governors who claim that there are foreigners who are involved, yes, of course. I cannot say that there are no foreigners, but the number is very minute. And it's involved mostly few foreigners through the belt of Lake Chad Basin. But most of those who are operating within the North Central, Northeast, and many part of the Northwestern part of the country, they are Nigerians. I have done their profile by polling units, by political what, by local government, and by state assembly, national assembly, and senatorial zones. So, and we have had many of these states, like Katsina, and some of them saying that they conduct dialogue with them, or what they call, what I call as a ceasefire sensitization meeting. Because it is just a ceasefire sensitization meeting.
Or non-kinetic measures that we're saying.
You can't call it a non-kinetic measure. Because if it is a measure, then they could have dropped their arms, and then there should be a minute of meeting, there should be an agreed action point, there should be a recommendations. They wouldn't have been also going back to intimidate the communities they have, because they have gone back to their business. So if at all, Nigerian government will be serious, honest, sincere, and transparent, I want to tell you, within less than 17 to 32 days, we can be able to reach out to these guys. Those who are ready to surrender their arms should surrender their arms. Those who are not ready, kinetic approach should be utilized.
All right. U.S. President Donald Trump has designated Nigeria a country of particular concern. What are the implications for Nigeria?
You know, being designated as the country of particular concern by the United States of America means that the U.S. has determined that the country is engaging in or tolerating specifically severe violations of religious freedom. This designation power is gotten from the International Religious Freedom Act of 1998, where the Department of State is empowered to monitor and report on annual basis the infringements of religious freedom worldwide. Then the Secretary of State now has the power to designate some countries based on the findings of the annual report as countries of particular concern. I think this should be in section 402B1A of the IRFA of the United States of America. Now, these are the consequences. If America find that you are now a country of particular concern, they can go into direct engagement. In other words, negotiations. In other words, going to agreements on how you will improve the religious freedom conditions that they will give you. They can go into diplomatic sanctions. That means degrading, as a way of protest, the relationship you have with the United States. Maybe sacking your ambassador, withdrawing ambassadors, degrading that relationship. They can go into economic sanctions, which is limiting aid or limiting trade. And that's why you saw Donald Trump at the first time saying Nigeria is designated as a country of particular concern, and this may lead to the sanctions, this may lead to cutting off aids. Now, here is the point. How did Nigeria get to this point? Because America was saying that there is a genocide and the massacring of Christians in Nigeria. This is where I am embarrassed. This is where I say it is disgraceful and shameful that the government's response is not that there is no killing of Christians. The response is that, no, America, you did not even say it as bad as it is. It's not only Christians that are being killed. Even Muslims are killed. Even traditional believers are killed. Even everybody is killed. What a shame that a country, that a government whose duty is to secure the lives and welfare of people are given as a defense that not only Christians are being killed, but Muslims, everybody is being killed also. What an international admission of failure on the basic duty of government. So when Donald Trump says, and when Americans say Christians are killed, the government has practically admitted it. That is failure. Because no one person is supposed to be killed in a country without account. One person, the death of one person, is 100% loss to the family. You can't have two fathers. When your father is dead, he's dead forever. When your son, at times your only child, is dead forever. The finality of death should make our governments and our politicians and our leaders to be ashamed that what they are saying is not that Christians are not being killed. Meaning, they're actually telling Americans, sorry, you're not even saying it as bad as it is. What a shame. So the most important thing is that we have security problems, security challenges, and even the government is not denying it. So if America says Christians are killed, they are saying the truth. The issue of genocide, it depends on who is analyzing it. So you just can't wish it away. Why did I say that? Did you not hear people from Benue saying that some foreign invaders, and I'm talking about the governor of Benue State, Governor Alia, that this massacre of his people are perpetrated by terrorists who are mostly foreign invaders with the aim of sacking the people from their land, eliminating the people from their land in order to take over their land. What does that mean? So Nigeria is a vast country. So if you want to talk about whether there's genocide or not, it depends on who is talking about it. If you go to Plateau, they're shouting the same thing, that they want to kill everybody, sack everybody from their land in order to take over their land. So what is that? Having said that, I agree that American government should sanction these corrupt politicians, those that have refused to give us free, fair, credible election, those that are orchestrating violence and rigging during election, those that are stealing Nigerian money and housing it abroad, which these foreign governments know, those that are engaging in sponsoring these terrorists, because some people are sponsoring these terrorists. UAE gave us a list one time. Jonathan said he has Boko Haram members in his cabinet. Abacha said if any insecurity lasts more than 24 hours, the government is aware of it. If there is no complicity of people in government, this will not last from 2009. So what I'm saying is that American government has a point. And then Tinubu's incompetence in the way he's handling international relations is even what made this issue worse. The last time I granted an interview to you people, I pleaded with President Bola Tinubu. I said, please, sir, be careful the way you deal with Donald Trump. You can't wish him away. Even in your village, if you have the strongest man and he happens to be behaving in a funny way, you are still needed to use wisdom to know how to deal with him. I pleaded with him. And look at Donald Trump fired the first tweet designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And then Tinubu fired his own tweet. No, you don't do that with Donald Trump. Not that you're scared of him, no. But you have to check the psychology of a particular leader and evolve diplomatic and wise way to follow him. My master's is on international law and diplomacy. And I can always tell you that Tinubu, when the you people asked me the last time, what is my rating of the international relations of Nigeria on that, I say it's a disaster. You're now seeing what I saw. How can you, more than 200 million persons have been pleading with you, President Bola Tinubu, appoint qualified ambassadors to represent Nigeria, especially in these major countries? No. You want to do only the things you want. And you know, because of the condition of your body and mind, at times you do not take reasonable decision. Daniel Bwala, when his brain was still working, because he was the one who said if you enter APC, your brain stops working. When his brain was still working, he described Tinubu's government as a government that has audacity of hypocrisy and hypocrisy of competence. Meaning Tinubu has the audacity to take decisions, but he ends up taking hypocritical decisions, meaning wrong decisions. Meaning that when Tinubu is purporting to be competent, there is no competence in it. It's simply hypocritical. This is the exact word of Daniel Bwala when Tinubu decided to choose a fellow Muslim to become his vice president. Now, we are paying for it. Tinubu fired the tweet back to Donald Trump. And I laughed because I knew what was going to come after. When Donald Trump now fired his own threat, threatening the use of force, if need be, what did Tinubu do again? No, let Tinubu fire back, so that it will be fire for fire. When Donald Trump did the first one, if we had a beautiful ambassador, a wonderful, intelligent ambassador, he would have gone through the back door, not coming to fire back, to explain the situation of Nigeria to America and urging America that we need the help of everybody, including America. Then he fire back. No, Nigeria is not, like I said, shamelessly, with respect, admitting that you have security problems, but everybody is being killed. What a defense. In law, there's what we call general traverse and specific traverse. They will tell you have to specifically traverse every armament that is made against you. Let me give you an example. If they say you stole 500 naira and you say, no, I didn't steal 500 naira, and we leave it at that, you have not said you are not a thief. Because you have not said that you did not steal 400 naira. So you have to say, no, I did not steal 500 naira, and I have not stolen any money at all. Can Nigeria specifically traverse the allegation that Christians are being killed? No, they cannot. They are saying everybody is killed. But the real traverse in law that would have exculpated you is saying, no Christians is being killed. Nobody is being killed at all. No, we can't say that. So the issue here is that incompetence of Tinubu. Now the whole Nigeria was begging Tinubu, appoint ambassadors. He refused. A tweet by a foreign president is making him now to consider, watch, within 1 week or so, he will appoint the ambassadors. Telling you that this is a man that is reactionary, has nothing to offer Nigerians except hypocritical leadership style, according to Daniel Bwala. He said audacity of hypocrisy and hypocrisy of competence. So when Tinubu purports to be competent, we are seeing the result of his incompetence every day. Right from when he was the chairman of Ecowas, how Ecowas became fractured. You now have Association of Sahel region countries. Now when he became the chairman of Ecowas, he threatened to remove the government of another country within 7 days. Now another country is threatening your own country, so that you will understand how incompetent and unwise for you to threaten another country. Now even Chad is closing our border. What is the extent that we can take from the incompetence of a Tinubu and APC government? So what is happening with America designating us and the way it is being handled is crash. I mean, it is complete display of incompetence of a government and hypocrisy. A government that told you that in August they had made all the revenues that they projected to make within a year, cannot appoint ambassadors, cannot pay them. So Nigeria is now left in the hands of competent leaders. Let Tinubu use cotton wool and close the mouth of all those his purported spokespersons before they talk us into trouble. They don't know nothing. They don't know what they're doing. And let Tinubu stop responding so that people of me, we have men in this country, anyone you want, so that they can respond for us. So what happened is that there is an insecurity problem in Nigeria, which Nigeria should work hard to eliminate completely. You do it through catching the sponsors of, can you imagine, about 15,000 persons have died in one way or the other from terrorist attacks since Tinubu came to power in 2023. Is that not a massacre? 15,000. They should try to get these sponsors, expose them, stop them, whoever they are. Then they should stop playing politics. Can't you see the hand of karma in what is happening? Buhari and Tinubu, they led a delegate to America to report insecurity of Nigeria to America during the Jonathan's regime. Can't you see karma? And now they are screaming, opposition. Opposition what? Opposition power on there. Opposition.
All right, from what you said.
Now, they should try to increase the morale of the fighting force, increase the boots on ground. A country where the government is awarding one contract for 15 trillion naira, where his family has interest. If that 15 trillion naira had been put into security because of the dead need of it, we will be out of this security. Now, since Tinubu came in, I have been begging, let state police be approved. The governor of Zamfara, vowed with the Quran, 2 months he will wipe out insecurity. That he knows where all these people are. And Governor Soludo is actually proving it to be correct with ordinary vigilante. He has destroyed about 60 camps of insecurity, and insecurity in Anambra State, whether I like it or not, has been eliminated to a reasonable extent. Tinubu cannot let him hear this advice. Let him support the creation of state police like yesterday. Because we will talk our own. The opposition will even, because we don't play politics with security, we will even give our own recommendation. Yet this government will not implement it. And they will open their mouth. Opposition. Please.
All right. From all you said, obviously you are not satisfied with government's response to what Donald Trump has said. of course, Anambra State Governor downplayed it, and the FCT minister has described it as the action of opposition parties. They are the ones hyping this over this Christian genocide. What's your take on that?
If Soludo is playing down the death of 15,000 persons from 2023, why did he play up the security challenges in his own state? Why did he have to equip a new fighting force to fight insecurity? He was just playing politics. Anybody who plays down on the death of even one person would report to God. If Soludo himself had been killed, would he be governor? And for saying opposition, dumb, that's a dumb reasoning. You know, when people say, this insecurity did not start with Tinubu, that's an annoying submission, very annoying. Because the reason he contested to be president is to be able to stop it, and he promised he will stop it. If he didn't start with you, and you can't handle it, what was your business coming to contest to be president? We were not looking for a pope, we're not looking for a pastor, we're not looking for an imam. We're looking for a leader who will give us security and welfare. And he said, we danced for it, we begged for it, and nobody should pity us because we said we would do it. So let him do it. I don't like to hear all these dumb excuses. Security has been on since what? So, if you can't handle it, why did you contest to be president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces? Armed forces, all the armed forces are in your command. You can't handle it, resign. Let another person that can handle it come in. Excuses and successes do not go together. Any leader that is used to giving excuses by whatever name called is a failure. Touch them in economy, they'll give excuses. They inherited rotten economy. They inherited bad, dead economy. Excuses. Talk security. It did not start with us. What are you doing sitting there? The only thing we want to hear is results. And that is what we're expecting. Opposition has no business. Do you see this government as a government that spares opposition? When they were doing rumor, when they were having rumor of Q or rumor of this, like I said, it's a rumor. The governors that they were suspecting that we are part of it, are they part of the opposition? The rumor, the ones that are rumoring, I said, IAPC members. No opposition can afford to enter into insecurity to do anything to the government because the opposition person knows the consequences. Because if you use force, you are a member of the opposition, you won't be spared. So it's only the ruling party, like Jonathan said, and there are some Boko Haram in my cabinet. It's only the ruling party that has the solution because they have the security reports. If any member of the opposition is involved, let the person pay the price. If any member of the ruling party is involved, let the person pay the price, and we'll have a safe country. Excuses are dumb because successes and excuses will never go together.
We've seen your piece where you are urging the federal government to quit politics, but there is a concerted effort either by the ministers or the president speaking to this, and we've also heard that there's a rallying move to now appoint ambassadors to the foreign missions abroad. Isn't this satisfactory?
Well, I feel it's a bit too late, but better late than never. A lot of us in opposition, we've always advised our government as a matter of patriotism. But they dismiss opposition as irritants, busybodies, charlatans, and now the chicken has come home to roost. So I wrote my piece, I think 2 nights ago. As always, I try to make interventions from every now and then, if I have the opportunity. And my position is that it is not enough saying we want to appoint ambassadors. What government needs to do is to rally its best brains. Nigeria is overblessed with some of the most brilliant human beings on this planet. And a lot of Nigerians are very exposed, and they have privileges all over the world that they enjoy. They have contacts, they have their networks. So my advice to the president is don't make it politics as usual. Reach out to those people, whether they are in your party or not. And I mentioned some names. If you read my piece, which was not a partisan list, the people they should reach out to, men of timber and caliber. Because when you speak at the international level, when you speak, your message is not enough. Your message will resonate if the messenger is appropriate. A lot of the cronies that I see around the president are people who do not have that kind of credibility. Some of them will push themselves again at the president and, oh yes, we can go to Washington, we can go to London, we can go to Paris, we can go to Russia, we can go everywhere, and we'll be able to know the president must go all out and deliver a team A for Nigeria. If he does not do that, we're wasting time. And then the videos of President Trump that I've watched, it is beyond just the usual let's talk. I think he's convinced about the document that have already been presented to him. He's convinced that the Nigerian government is not serious. He's convinced that we are not ready. And he's convinced that we will try to buy time and then return to our usual hanky-panky. So that is why I wrote that thing. And I hope that the president will see it and see it in good faith and act on it.
Well, Chief, I mean, some of the names you have mentioned, I was trying to take a look at that list to see if your name is there, but...
I said it clearly that I'm not interested in anything. No,
but Chief, you have the capacity. You have the capacity. You're a veteran journalist. I think you should be open to working with this current administration.
No, people will get a wrong signal. Once I bring myself into it, I'm not interested. And I'm saying it with all emphasis.
Okay, Chief.
I am not interested. I do other things for my country behind the scenes, globally.
All right.
With my own funding. I don't go to government. I don't beg for things from government. I love my country passionately.
All right, Chief.
That is why I can resist the temptation of being in government where people think, oh yes, you can become a billionaire overnight. I am not interested.
Yes, Chief. Let's take the words of former U.S. President John F. Kennedy. He has been quoted as saying that never negotiate under pressure. And those words I always hold dear to my heart. I imagine that Mr. President would be under a lot of pressure. How do you advise that he gets to handle this pressure, especially the fact that he's faced by strong power blocs, the US on one hand, and there's China, who has sort of been funding some of our infrastructure projects in very recent times, Chief?
That is why he needs female within. In the days of tribulations, you run to the elders of the house. I can tell you for free that number one on that list of people he must reach out to will be former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who after Nelson Mandela, I believe is the greatest African statesman. You have Chief Emeka Yaku, who was Commonwealth Secretary General so many years ago. And God has preserved his life for us. So on an occasion such as this, they need to reach out. They need to reach out to powerful Christian groups. And there is a name that will come up. Lieutenant General Theophilus Yakubu Danjuma. These are very, very wealthy Christians and who have a voice, who can speak globally, and they will listen to them. Is it because they are bringing these things from the religious angle? Yes, it's convenient it's very convenient for us to say, oh, Muslims are being killed, Christians are being killed, but most Nigerians be killed at all. Nigerians are being killed. In Nigeria today, we are indifferent, even if they announce, 1,000 people killed in Benue. Life continues as usual.
Let me take you through some of the reactions from Nigerians after Mike Almond came out to say that Tinubu's government might really be dissolved should Tinubu fail to, end insecurity. Let's see how Nigerians are responding, that Trump might even dissolve the Tinubu's government should he fail to end insecurity. This person said, please, Nigerians need urgent action. Human lives mean nothing to our politicians. Do what you can do to save the lives of ordinary Nigerians. Our politicians are the problem behind insecurity because of their families are in US, France, and other countries where it's safe. And this other person said, it's harvest season for APC, for baby. APC must reap evil seeds soon. Like Isaac Newton said, Agaracha must come back. This person said, dissolution is the only lasting solution to this problem. Dismantling Tinubu's government won't solve the entire the issue entirely. What happened when Trump leaves? This person said, that's a welcome development, and not only dismantling this government, but also jailing him. The fool has caused the masses so much pain. And this person say, I swear, I don't swear. They should carry this matter to ICJ, International Court of Justice, since US want to be the bully. They are. So I don't know. This person says, if the government is deeply concerned, if the government is deeply involved in the insecurity, why not? Like Abacha rightly said, an insecurity that lasts more than 24 hours. The government hand is in it. When Fulani terrorists enter Ghana government gave them marching order. And this person said, that's like literally the best thing you can do for Nigeria. For Nigerians, he is not fit to rule even cows. And this person says, severe hunger is coming. This is not funny anymore. I bet Tinubu should act and stop relying on China. Because it no go funny if they come fight the war. They won't fight since for Nigeria. And this person said, that's actually, that is the actual aim of all these conversations. So logical and predictable. He went America and spent 3 days or more days. He came back. Genocide is buzzword because the environment is scary to him and thought to involve order to create chaos. KO possible. And this one says, the only intervention is dismantling a rogue government with a stolen mandate, and sanity will be restored to Nigeria within 48 hours. And this person said, he didn't win the election anyways. It was a Christian who won it, but they rigged him. They rigged it. Shame. And this person say, okay, do you also know that it means dismantling Nigeria altogether? Yoruba will exit Nigeria the following day if this happens. Save this. And this person say, dismantling the government will be the solution. So if dismantling the government will be the solution, so be it. When government turns blind eyes to the slaughter of Christians, it forfeits its moral rights to lead. No nation stands when injustice becomes policy. If Tinubu's government won't defend its citizens, then history will defend itself by removing failed leadership. And this other person here said, this is a two-sided coin, sort of problem for Tinubu. The Tinubu federal government thought it had gripped Nigeria's 21st century political landscape by the Jugala. It meant to enrich itself and impoverish all Nigerians with a finesse. So let me know your thought on this in the comment section below. Thank you.